Adam, hey man. Excuse me. There you go. You get the full clearing of the throat at the beginning of the video. I thought I'd just make a video on my way to the job in answer to your question. So yeah, 12-week year. I read it several times over the last 5 years, and I always knew it was going to be a pretty good fit for me with my systems that I use. So I use GTD and Scrum and my flywheels and workflows, and the 12-year horizon, like that quarterly horizon, which is, I understand the 12-week year is not like a quarterly part of a year, a little bit of a different emphasis, but I knew that adding in kind of a quarterly review, quarterly horizon to look at goal setting was going to be a good fit for me, and as opposed to like a yearly thing. So I really like that. I really like the focus and emphasis, and then started to use it in January. So I'm in my fourth 12-week year, and I would say for me, and this is going to be individual to me, of course, but maybe helpful to you, is I don't run my life on a 12-week year format. That I dedicate to one project or task or something, development, one thing only. And I tried doing 2 or 3, that didn't work. So one thing only. I do it 5 days a week for an hour. For me, it's from 6 to 7 in the morning is when I focus on it. So it's basically 5 hours a week, and I just decide on one thing. And what's worked for me with my personality and my strengths and weaknesses, the thing that's really made it function for me is finding something that I can't wait to do, but wouldn't necessarily be able to fit into my normal life. So it's kind of my most lovable project, the thing I most kind of really am anxious to get to, because for me, if I was having to force myself to do it, get kind of against my will, or to work on a project I really didn't want to work on, it wouldn't function for me. I would give up. But actually, it's kind of the best hour, not the best hour of my day, that's not true, but it's something I really look forward to each day. So to the first 12-week year focus for me was creating I have this template I use in my project management company that I built over the years, and that first 12-week year was adding on a very particular component to that project management template and really streamlining it. So that was pretty exciting to get that done. That was really helpful. Second 12-week year, I focused on flywheel, like understanding the philosophy of my flywheels and really doing a deep dive into what flywheels are, how they work, and so literally went into understanding how an actual like automobile flywheel works and what it does, and then translating that into how I create flywheels. So that was a big thing for me. The third 12-week year, I focused on self-coaching, and that came out of an understanding as I was working on my flywheels and looking at what part they played in my life and what the actual thing they are, what role they fill in my life. I kind of spread the net a little wider as I was trying to understand, okay, what are all my systems? How do flywheels fit in with them? And realized that I've got this idea I've played around with for a couple of years now, that the donut shop is not open. Come on, guys. This is not 3 different people, but 3 different aspects of me. One is the doer or the technician, if you've read E-Myth Revisited, you'll understand this. In E-Myth, there's the manager, the entrepreneur, and the technician as a part of a company, if you're starting a company. So I kind of took that concept of 3 roles, and in my normal life, there's the doer or the technician, person that's actually out there doing whatever. There is the planner, and then there's the coach. Those are 3 personas or perspectives I can take, and I realized almost all of my systems were planner systems. I had a couple of doer systems, but no coach systems. So I decided to really, and that's caused a lot of basically there was just mainly the planner and the doer, and they're fighting because the planner makes big plans, and then it's me planning them, and then the doer has to do them, and the doer is tired usually. So realized there needs to be a healthy coaching voice in my head that takes the plans that I make, and instead of just expecting myself to do them when I didn't feel like it, or tired, or discouraged, that I needed to really develop some systematic approaches to kind of being my own coach. So that was my third 12-week year. In the middle of that, I actually got an actual career coach and development coach, actually off of the Workflowy Slack group. Jim Carwish is excellent, and I guess I'm in my 5th or 6th month with him, and that's really been helpful. This 12-week year, I'm working on my Zettelkasten system, and really Zettelkasten to content creation. So that's been my focus this 12-week year. I say all those to say that each of those is something I'm excited to get up and do. I have to kind of hold myself back from doing more, and that's been the magic for me of the 12-week year, is making sure I pick the right thing, because it'll fall apart if I'm just like, oh, I've got to do this, I need to get this done. I'll stick it in my 12-week year, but it's not something I really want to do. I'm not going to follow through on that. So I've decided just to reserve the 12-week year for really lovable projects that I'm excited about. So anyway, the rest, other than that, the rest of it's in the book. That's been my big takeaway, the thing that's really helped me be successful with it and stick to it. I think there might be some, I've had the support of my wife. I think having a support, or even kind of accountability, or somebody else who's doing the same thing that you can kind of check in with, would be helpful. For me, it's been having my wife, once she saw how excited I was about it and how functional it was for me, she actually cleared the decks for 6 to 7 in the morning for me, which is when our kids get ready and get out the door for school. So I literally, when it's time, I go and wake them up, and then I go into my office and work. So having her kind of clear that path for me to make sure it happens has been a big deal too. So I think having some kind of a support of some sort to help you either make it possible or keep you accountable if there's some need for that. So anyway, there you go. Feel free to jump into a deeper conversation if there's some specific questions that you have.